This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? Is your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks dropped one to the Nets, and I got the wrong score on the screen. That's my I guess that's my birthday wish score right there, 122-115. The Knicks did not score 122 points and beat the Nets. They lost 122-115. So I'll fix that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks lost to the Nets tonight. And really, the Knicks, they got to within 4 in the fourth quarter. But for the most part, from the beginning of the game, it was pretty much a done deal, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to say it was a done deal. Let me not say that. But the Knicks didn't have it from the beginning of the game on the defensive side of the ball. All night long, the Nets, open shooter after open shooter, knocking down 3-point shots. Open shooter after open. Look, you can't expect to win a basketball game. Guys are going to be open time after time after time after time from the 3-point line, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what happened today versus the Knicks. Versus the Nets. The Nets versus the Knicks. The Knicks versus the Nets. Right? That's what happened time and time again. What are you going to do? You're not going to win games that way. Bottom line. Bottom line. You're not going to win games that way. The Nets were 55% from the 3-point line. 22 for 40, ladies and gentlemen. 22 for 40. Kyrie Irving, 5 for 12. A lot of his 3-point shots were off the dribble pull-ups, though. Royce O'Neal, 4 for 7. Joe Harris, 4 for 7. Seth Curry was 2 for 3. The only person that didn't really shoot it well from the 3-point line was Patty Mills. The Knicks, they didn't shoot it bad, 35.7%, but they only took 28 attempts. The Knicks couldn't get stops all night long, and they could not stop Kyrie Irving. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you see the Knicks lose to the Brooklyn Nets. I think they were down by as much as like 19 points in that third quarter. They made a push. They made a run. Just wasn't enough. To be honest with you, I'm not terribly upset about the game. I'm not terribly upset. I think this would have definitely have been worse if the Knicks had lost to Cleveland and then lost to Boston and then, lost to Brooklyn today. To me, it would have been a lot worse. But they didn't, right? They got a couple of wins beforehand, and I think that eases the pain for a lot of us Knicks fans because they were able to get a couple of wins earlier, against 2 of your better teams in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. Obviously, we all wanted this win versus the Nets. No two ways about it. We all wanted to beat the Nets. Didn't happen today, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't happen today. Julius Randle didn't have it going. He didn't have it going. Last 2 games, Julius Randle was money from the 3-point line. Not tonight. Right? Julius Randle, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line for 16.7%. Just didn't have it going. Just didn't have it going. RJ Barrett had it going today. And what's crazy, though, RJ Barrett had it going offensively, but defensively, Do we? We don't have to go all the way into it. I think you get it. Right? I think you get it, and Like RJ Barrett, 24.6 assists. I mean, he shot 60% from the field. He shot 56%. He shot 60% from the 3-point line and 56% from the field. But his defense is, part of the reason that Emmanuel Quickly was in the game in the fourth quarter up until a minute and some seconds left. I mean, RJ played some time in the fourth quarter at the top of the fourth. Right, but RJ Barrett today in the fourth quarter, 6 minutes and 51 seconds, a lot of that time was spent at the top of the fourth quarter. And when you look at all periods, and again, I'm not a big guy on the plus minus, but RJ had a negative plus minus today. Right, he was negative 19 in the plus minus. Not a good game for the Knicks. You know what I mean? Not a good game. I don't know how much more I can say about it. Not a good game. Too much Kyrie Irving down the stretch. They couldn't stop. What did Kyrie Irving have? 17, 18 points in the fourth quarter or something like that? Right? Too much Kyrie. You couldn't stop him. The Knicks couldn't stop him. That makes me mad, though. It does. It makes me mad, that Kyrie can. Kyrie just has that kind of talent. The kind of stuff that you really can't be taught. The kind of instincts that really can't be taught. And he took it out on the Knicks tonight. Or he used it against the Knicks tonight. Let me say that. Not took it out. He used it against the Knicks tonight. I see David L. said Randall was getting hacked. That's most nights, right? Most nights Randall, was on the chopping block. Rebuild MYK said the Knicks needed Brunson to be aggressive from the jump. Brunson ended the game with 26 points, but I agree with you. More aggressive from the jump. 26 points tonight for Brunson, 52.6% from the field. He didn't shoot the ball bad. He did have one turnover, dribbling to the lane. Had a little turnover, dribbling the ball through the lane. 4 assists for Jalen Brunson. Emmanuel Quickly, man, 16 points, 6 assists tonight. I can't say enough about Emmanuel Quickly's defense. And I know there's been some talk about it, but his defense, ladies and gentlemen, has been, stellar. It's been stellar. And that's the reason why Tom Thibodeau vacillates between RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and Quentin Grimes down the stretch of games, depending on who's playing better offensively. Between Grimes and Emmanuel Quickly, I think he knows, those two guys are going to bring defense. And then depending on who's, playing well, depending on how RJ's doing defensively and how he's playing offensively, then, he'll be in the game. But Tom Thibodeau is not afraid to go to Emmanuel Quickly down the stretch because of his defense and his ability to break down the defense on the offensive side and his ability to, knock down the three. And, Emmanuel Quickly Emmanuel Quickly just kind of has a net factor. He's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of any moment. And I'm not saying RJ is, because obviously he hit a big 3 versus Boston to send, to help the Knicks, catapult the Knicks to a win. But Emmanuel Quickly can, he's not afraid of the moment. And he plays defense. So that's why Tom Thibodeau has him out there. Isaiah Hartenstein, 8 points, 5 rebounds. Jericho Sims, another night, 6 points, 10 rebounds for Jericho Sims. The Knicks just didn't have enough. Not enough firepower to deal with the Brooklyn Nets. And the Nets do a good job swinging that ball. Kyrie Irving can break down the defense, and then you kick it out and swing it, and you got shooters all over the place. All over the place. Talk about a team with shooters, right? The Nets have a team with a lot of shooters. You know what I mean? A lot of shooters out there. You know, and then, of course, and they're missing Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? You know, think about the offensive firepower this team has when Kevin Durant is out there on the floor with them. I don't like the matchup, the Knicks versus the Nets. I don't like the matchup. To me, the Knicks just don't have enough firepower to match up with the Nets. They score too easy. Good balance scoring from them as well. Kyrie Irving had 32 points and 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 44% from the field, 41.7% from three. You have Joe Harris, 16 points, 4 for 7 from the three-point line, 6 for 9 from the field. Royce O'Neal, you know, he had 14 points, 4 for 7 from the three-point line. Seth Curry had 14 points. And normally one of these guys, Joe Harris or Royce O'Neal probably, not Joe Harris, Royce O'Neal is probably on the bench while Kevin Durant is doing his thing out there. Now, Royce O'Neal's not getting you 14 points every night. But still. But then, even on the bench, though, you know, Watanabe, 9 points. Patty Mills had 7. He wasn't hitting from the three-point line, really. Edmund Sumner had 6 points. Day'Ron Sharpe, 6 points. Cam Thomas, 5 points. You know, so they still were able to, you know, get 30-something points off the bench. You know, tough to stop. You know, tough to stop the Brooklyn Nets. Tough to stop them. Not a matchup that I want to see in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie to you. The Knicks make the playoffs. I don't want to see the Brooklyn Nets because of their offensive firepower. And I don't want to see the Toronto Raptors in a play-in situation, a one-game play-in situation, because of the defensive tenacity and the way that they match up with the Knicks. Two teams I want to stay away from. So the Knicks dropped to 27-24. The Miami Heat are now 28-22. You know, the Knicks got to make sure that the Heat do not gain too much separation, ladies and gentlemen. They're now a game and a half above the Knicks for that 6th seed. And with the Knicks having the toughest schedule in the league to finish off this season, I mean, from now until, you know what I mean, like sometime in March, we all know what the Knicks record schedule is like. You know, I get afraid that it's going to be some separation between them and the Miami Heat for that 6th seed. And then right now they're in the 7th seed. And the Atlanta Hawks are a team that the Knicks struggle with too. I know that they've beat them, but normally when they beat them, it's because somebody's out. So the Knicks, if they're in the 7th or that 8th seed, they'd get 2 chances to make the playoffs. 2 chances, right? So if the season were to stop today, the Knicks would be in the 7th seed. They would play a home game versus the Atlanta Hawks. And if they won that game, they'd be in the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. If they lost that game, Atlanta would be in the 7th seed, and the Knicks would play the winner between Indiana and Washington. It's not a situation I want the Knicks to be in. But this is what they're at right now, and if they can't win some games, if Miami continues to play well, they're 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. They're getting hot. They continue to get hot, and the Knicks continue to play, you know, kind of mediocre. Then you're going to see separation between those two teams. The Knicks will be in the 7th seed. You know, but listen, I think that's probably what we expected anyway. Right? It's probably what we expected. The Knicks, they got to get the defense. The last couple of games, look, I'm not crazy upset because I know the kind of firepower this Brooklyn Net team has. I do, but I don't like seeing so many guys open from the three-point line. And I know the Nets had the Knicks scrambling all night. Scrambling, right? The Knicks, maybe you try to double team Kyrie, the ball gets swung around to someone like Seth Curry or Joe Harris. And this is happening all night long because you can't guard Kyrie one-on-one. It's going to break down anybody in the NBA. So the Knicks were scrambling all night long to cover shooters, and clearly they could not cover those shooters. So am I really, really mad? Not really. Not really. I would have liked the Knicks to win the basketball game, but I'm not just crazy mad because I know this is a horrendous matchup for the Knicks. So when you play teams that, like this, you're hoping that the Knicks can pull one out, in my opinion. At least in my opinion, versus the Nets. Just don't see that the Knicks are a great matchup against these guys. You know what I mean? Rebuild NYK said, we need at least one more starter. The Knicks need, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson. They're a nice threesome, no doubt about it, and they're one that you can build with. But if you want this basketball team to go farther, you need that guy. Like you see the ease at which Kyrie Irving can score the basketball. The Knicks have nobody like that on this team. Don't point to Cam Reddish. Don't do it. All right, Cam Reddish does not score with that kind of ease. Sorry to say. I know some people have that at the tip of their tongue right now. It's not true, so don't say it. The Knicks don't have somebody that can score with that kind of ease, and this is the reason why. Like the Knicks, they need all three of their guys to be efficient to have a chance to beat a team like the Nets. If one of those guys is not efficient, it's tough. And then, of course, you need somebody to step up off the bench, which they did with Emmanuel Quickley. And then your defense has to be on point. So the Knicks need a lot to go right to beat a team like the Nets or the Bucks or the Celtics. They need a lot to go right because you don't have that one guy that can score with so much ease that he scares other teams. The Nets got two of them. Julius Randle, he's doing a great job this year, scoring the basketball, playing defense, grabbing rebounds. An all-star caliber year. In my eyes, he's an all-star. And I think he should be voted in as an all-star. No doubt about it. He's an all-star. But he doesn't score with that kind of ease. He's not that prolific. Randall's got to work for those buckets. RJ's got to work for those buckets. Brunson has got to work for those buckets. You know what I'm saying? They got to work for it. Which tires them down. And I know we talk about, we talk about the players' minutes. Julius Randle, 38 minutes tonight. Jalen Brunson, 37 minutes tonight. RJ only 31. Quentin Grimes played 37. 27 for Jericho Sims. 20 for Hartenstein. 27 for Emmanuel Quickley. 10 for Miles McBride. 9 for Obi Toppin. So I know we talk about those guys' minutes, and then coupled with, the fact that, they've got to work so hard to score. I dig what you're saying. I get it. I know. I understand. But the fact is, you need these guys out there on the floor for the Knicks to have a chance to win basketball games. And then another fact is that they don't score with that kind of ease. So it does put strain on their body. It does. That's the reason why I say, like, every once in a while we see those games where the Knicks are flat, don't have the energy, right? Come out seemingly lackadaisical. They're trying to work hard, but the energy ain't there. And it's because, in my opinion, they have to work like this to score the basketball. That's just my opinion. So the Knicks need one of those guys. You know what I mean? They need one of those guys. Or they can't find one of those guys, then I guess they need another workhorse. And so that they have so many workhorses that, you know, when you play them, they beat you down. And you get tired of playing against them, you know? Or they, you know, if they can't find one of those guys, they got to get as many. They can't find one of those scorers that way. They got to find as many of those workhorses as possible. And so when you play the Knicks, they wear you down night after night, you dig? They allow music, man. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you very much. He says, salute and on point. We have no one that scares anyone. We don't know about ball movement or those shots would be easier. I mean, yeah, we don't have that guy. And but what happens when you have great ball movement, but still the defense is closing out. The defense is there, right? You still got to work to get those shots. You know what I mean? And that's what, you know, just kind of, you know, with this team, you know, that's one of the biggest issues. You know, and I still do worry about, even if the minutes distribution was better, I would still worry about whether or not this team is going to have that type of energy at the end of the season. You know what I mean? When, you know, when their schedule is so grueling coming up. And I think the Knicks have proved to us that they can win some of these basketball games. I'm not as afraid as I was just a couple of days ago. Because I think the Knicks have proved that they can win some of these basketball games. Right? Against some of these better teams, that they can pull out one or two of them. And not all of them are against, you know, the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets. Right? They're playing against some teams that they're going to be able to beat them. They're going to have chances to win. I just get scared come down the end of the season. They're going to be so tired. And not just because of the minutes distribution, but because of the reasons that I'm telling you. They're going to be so tired, or they're going to be able to pull it out. You dig? Ghost Rider, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. He said, happy birthday, Sim. 35 looks good on you. You know? I'm not even going to say I wish I was 35. I'm happy being 47. I'm not going to say I wish I was 35 again. To be honest with you, when I'm out there on the court, I feel 35 or younger. I'm not going to lie. I feel good when I'm out there, you know. I still do hoop. And I feel good. So, you know what I mean? 47 years old, got the grades. I can't even say coming in. They've been coming in since I was in my, you know, late 20s or something like that. You know, not as much, but they've been coming in since then. But now, you know, it's coming in fully. But I'm with it. I rock it. I like it. I mean, I like it. But I wish we could get one of those pure scorers, man. And I appreciate everyone who's wished me a happy birthday in the chat. I didn't get to everybody earlier, but I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it and enjoy spending time with you on my birthday and all of that. You know what I mean? You know, wish the Nets would have gotten the win. I did want to be there tonight, but obviously that wasn't going to be the case because I had basketball practice tonight, and I had to be earlier today. And it had to be because we're in the midst of our season where, you know, we have an important game coming up on Tuesday. Tough team, the best team in our conference. You know what I'm saying? We lost to them by 12 the last time we played them. We weren't as good of a team as we are now. It's crazy how a couple of weeks can change the outlook of a team. A couple of weeks ago, we were unsure of ourselves. And high school basketball, we basically don't start playing until December. Play a couple of games. Yeah, we played some games in November, but we just started in November. So we played some early games, almost more like scrimmages. Teams not in our conference, teams a little bit better than us, so we could try to up our level of play. Then we play some games in December. Then you get a little bit of a Christmas break. And then January, you really, really hit the ground running. So we played the best team in our conference early in January, still kind of unsure of ourselves. Since then, we've won 5 of our last 6 games or 6 of our last 7, something like that, on a 5-game win streak, and we're feeling good about ourselves. So on Tuesday, we go to their court for a big one. So I had to be at practice today. I couldn't be at the game. Had to be at practice. This is too big of a game on next week. Had to make sure the girl's mind was right. You know what I mean? A big shout out to you all. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you 100%. But now, the Knicks, these last 3 games, though, right? They played Boston, they played Cleveland, and then now they just played the Nets. Games where, we weren't sure what the Knicks were going to be able to do or what they were going to do. They went 2-1, so, I'm not too upset about it. Now they play the Lakers. The Lakers are making a push to be in the offseason. To be in the playoffs, right? They're making a push. Trying to make a push. They're trying to stack their roster. Because when you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis and them guys on your team, what else are you going to do? Right? What else you going to do? You're not tanking. Even though they should blow it up, in my opinion. The Lakers should. That's a game I think the Knicks should win, to be honest with you. It's going to be a battle, no doubt about it. But I don't want to say they can. I don't want to say they should. I think they can win. I think they can beat the Lakers. Coming into that game, the Knicks, let me get it up here on my screen. The Lakers, again, they are currently 13th in the Western Conference. They're 23-26 on the season. They're 5-5 in their last 10 basketball games. They're just not a team that's been able to gel. They haven't been able to do that, the last couple of years. Right? Haven't been able to gel. So I think that's a team that we can and should be able to win against. Right? And it is going to be, I believe it is home. Right? We play the Lakers, then we play the Heat, then we play the Clippers, then we play the 76ers. Right? I'm not sure what to think about the Knicks and the Heat this year. Every season is a little bit different. Now, normally the Knicks versus the Heat, the Heat really do match up well against the Knicks, and it's a struggle. Right? It's a struggle for the Knicks to play the Miami Heat. We drop the game. It'll be a battle. We'll battle all the way down to the end, but we can't get it done. I feel like this year is going to be a little bit different with the Knicks versus the Heat, though. You know what I'm saying? Something about this year's team, I feel, and that Lakers game is at the Garden. Something about this year's team, I feel the Knicks are going to be better than the Miami Heat. I do. I think the Knicks are going to beat the Heat. I think the Knicks can beat the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, so I'm hoping that the Knicks are winning their next 2 games versus the Lakers and the Heat. That's what I think the Knicks are going to do, to be honest with you. And they'll be 29-24 after the next 2 games. That's what I think. And the Knicks will have to beat the Heat. They're going to have to beat the Heat a couple of times this year because they're going to be battling with the Miami Heat for that 6th and 7th position all season long, in my opinion. It's going to be a battle. So, the Knicks have got to, they got to get the job done this year versus the Heat. Got to get that job done. Looking at some numbers behind the game, ladies and gentlemen, 45 rebounds for the Knicks, 35 for the Brooklyn Nets. Only 19 assists for the Knicks, 31 for the Nets. Obviously, you can see the way the Nets were moving the basketball. Right? They kept that ball on the go. The Knicks a little bit more ground and pound. Right? The Knicks 4 steals, the Nets 5 steals, 4 blocks for the Knicks, 3 for the Nets, 10 turnovers for the Knicks. Neither team really turned the ball over much. 10 for the Knicks, 8 for the Nets. The Knicks 51% from the field, the Nets 52.9% from the field. The 3-point shooting, ladies and gentlemen, that's a big difference in this game. Big difference. The Nets 22 of 40 from the 3-point line. The Knicks 10 of 28. So the Knicks scored 30 points from the 3-point line. The Nets 66. Big difference. I mean, the Nets only shot 57% from the free throw line, right? 68 points in the paint for the Knicks. 14 second chance points for the Knicks, 15 for Brooklyn, 10 fast break points for Brooklyn, 5 for the New York Knicks. Again, it came down to the 3-point shooting, in my opinion, and Kyrie Irving. 3-point shooting and Kyrie Irving. But that's a staple of the Brooklyn Nets. That's not something new. That's what it is that they do. Right? They Loud Music, thank you again for the super chat. He said, oh no, we play the Lakers in the Garden. Who is going to have their career best game against us? I mean, LeBron, what LeBron is going to try to do in the Garden. We know that. You know what LeBron is going to try to do in the Garden. He's going to try to show off. He's going to try to do his thing. They just acquired Rui Hachimura. I don't know if he's played a game yet. That's a good pickup. That's a good pickup for the Lakers. I'm upset that the New York Knicks did not get in on that. I'm sorry. I like Rui Hachimura. I think he can shoot it from the outside. He can go inside. I like his game. I really do. And, I'm kind of mad. We're looking at and maybe the Washington Wizards didn't want anything the Knicks had. And, that's totally possible. I would have liked to have at least heard that the Knicks were interested in the guy, though. You know what I mean? And for what the Lakers got him for, Kendrick Nunn and some second-round draft picks. And maybe Washington felt like they needed another point guard, too. They didn't want to pay Rui. I think Rui wasn't happy in Washington and wanted to get out of Washington anyway. Right? So, it wasn't working there. They were probably upset that, they was rocking with Rui for a while, and then they went and got KP and, probably wasn't happy with that. Like the Lakers just have a hodgepodge of guys on the team. Dennis Schroeder, the start point guard, Patrick Beverley, Thomas Bryant, LeBron James, Troy Brown Jr. Now they got Rui Hachimura. Of course, Anthony Davis is forever hurt. It's like a hodgepodge of guys. No shooting on that team. I mean, of course, they're going to have nights. But for the most part, not a lot of shooting. LeBron James is doing LeBron James things, of course. I don't know what you expect right now. The Los Angeles Lakers and Rui Hachimura is playing tonight. So far, he's played 8 minutes and 57 seconds. The Lakers are dealing with the Celtics on TV right now. 36-35, Celtics are up. LeBron James already 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Again, I think the Knicks can beat the Lakers. I think they can beat the Miami Heat. And they're going to have to take care of the Heat. They're going to have to deal with the Heat a lot this year. Then they play the Los Angeles Clippers. That's going to be a battle. The Clippers are 27-24 in the season. The 76ers, we know what that's about. Last time the Knicks played the Sixers was on Christmas. They had a lead. They gave up the lead. So I'm expecting that to be a good game. I still think the Knicks have a tough time beating the 76ers, right? Then they play the Magic, then the 76ers again. I think the Knicks get one of those 76ers games coming up, though. I think they can take care of Utah. February 13th, they play Brooklyn again. Look, they can beat the Hawks. They can beat the Wizards. I don't know about New Orleans yet. They're going to have another battle against Boston, another battle against Brooklyn, Miami, Boston again. I feel like the Knicks are going to, there's going to be a few of these games that we don't think, or people don't think the Knicks can win, that they pop off with, in my opinion. I don't know if this stretch is going to be as bad as people are expecting, Troy, man, thank you. I appreciate you. Say happy birthday. My God, continue to bless you and life and everything else that he can. Peace, God. Appreciate you. No doubt about it. You know what I mean? Just looking at it, I wonder how much when we're talking about the Knicks and the trade deadline, right? How much the Knicks are looking at themselves right now at 27-24, 27-24, looking at their upcoming schedule and making decisions about trades, based on all of that information there. Because the trade deadline is coming up in just a couple of weeks. And, there's a lot of rumors. The latest thing that I read about Cam Reddish and going to the Bucks is that the Bucks are offering up a couple of second-round draft picks. I don't know how much more the Knicks think they might get for Cam Reddish. He's not playing, right? So I don't know how much they think they might get, but they're offering up a couple of second-round draft picks. What's out there for Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier? I don't know. I think Derrick Rose should be a guy that's a little bit easier to move because his contract expires this year. Evan Fournier's contract doesn't expire until next year. Right, so I think that makes it a little bit tougher to move Evan Fournier. You got to find a team. If you got a team that feels like they need them, a championship contender that feels like they need them, maybe they're willing to, take a chance. I don't want to say take a chance, but they know what they're getting in Evan Fournier. Maybe they're willing to take on Evan Fournier as long as the Knicks can take back some contracts. Well, the Knicks will have to take back contracts. If there are maybe some teams like Indiana, San Antonio that have cap space, they might be willing to take on Evan Fournier, but the Knicks would have to throw him some salary cap. Not salary cap, some draft picks, some draft capital. I don't want to do that. I want to keep the draft capital. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we got to use to try to bring in one of these pure scorers we're talking about. So I don't know. I I don't know what it's very hard to say what the Knicks are going to try to do here at the trade deadline. The biggest rumors are about Kyrie Irving. Not Kyrie Irving, about Cam Reddish. Still thinking about Kyrie Irving and what he was doing in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? But the biggest, is about Cam Reddish and, the Knicks moving on from Cam Reddish. Obviously, you hear stuff about OG Anunoby. I read something the other day that, the Knicks gave it a introductory offer or a starting point offer of 2 first-round draft picks and Obi Toppin. Right? That is at least a rumor that's out there. He's one of those guys, when I said earlier, if you can't find those pure scorers, maybe he's one of those guys that are, that can help you grind it out. One of those grind it out type of guys. And you may need to add as many of those guys as possible if you can't find that pure scorer so that you're wearing teams down every time you step on the floor. He's one of those guys, you know what I mean? There's some small trades, I guess, that the Knicks can make that would help them, but you're not bringing in one of those scorers. You better believe that. I don't think you're bringing in one of those scorers, not right now. I don't even know who would be available that you'd think you'd go bring in one of those scorers. Who would be available? Nobody's available right now. So I think the Knicks are going to stick to small moves, bench moves. I'm going to tell you what, though. I think the Knicks are going to make, well, let me not say I think. Don't be surprised if the Knicks make small moves like with Cam Reddish and maybe if they can find something with Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose, and then add to the bench from the waiver wire, right? There's rumors that if Terrence Ross is not traded from the Orlando Magic, he might hit the waiver wire. If he hits the waiver wire, that could be a good pickup for the Knicks. Right? If you're just paying this guy the veterans minimum or something like that, that could be a very good pickup for the Knicks, Terrence Ross, to add to this bench from the wing position. If Terrence Ross would be a rotational player, I might go ahead and say, oh, okay, we'll give you Cam. Give us Terrence Ross. I think Terrence Ross, I don't think he could be in the last year of his contract. I'm not sure. But if the Knicks can get Terrence Ross on the waiver wire, that'd be big, I think. He's not a consistent three-point shooter, but he can score the basketball. And he can do it coming off the bench. He's used to coming off the bench. He'd be willing to come off the bench. I think he's a decent enough defender. And playing with Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks, I think he'd be a better defender. You know what I mean? Nev, the disruptor. Thank you. I appreciate the birthday wishes, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I think the Knicks, may be listening, keeping their ears and eyes open to find, okay, what's happening on that waiver wire? Who's going to get bought out? And can some of these people add to our team? And if Terrence Ross gets bought out, I'd love for the Knicks to try to jump on bringing Terrence Ross to the Knicks. I think he'd be a good guy. And there'll be some other guys that are on that, waiver wire or who are bought out that could possibly impact this team. So that may be the move that the Knicks do. Some small moves and then check out the waiver wire. You know what I mean? And that maybe that's even the smartest move to do if you want someone who can come in and give you some productive minutes off the bench. without exhausting your draft picks. Me and Tony Crow talk about it a lot. And even though there are some picks that could possibly come to fruition this season where, you either got to draft one of the players or you got to try to move it down the line and trade it down the line for another draft pick or something, you would think somehow, somewhere at the trade at the draft, those picks that the Knicks would have this year, you got Dallas and you got the Knicks pick. Most likely, those picks are coming for sure. Obviously, the Knicks pick is coming for sure. Dallas's pick is probably coming this year, right? Then there's some other ones that, have protections on it that you may not get anyway. And if you don't get them, then they're going to move on to another year. But with those two picks there, if you don't think you're going to have room for both of those guys, which right now, to be honest with you, the Knicks may have room for those guys on the bench. There's a wing position that's not being used. Right? So instead of giving up the draft capital, unless you can really get a guy here, I'm not giving up draft capital unless I can really get a guy here. And if we're talking about those two draft picks this year, those are two picks. Maybe you can move up in the draft. Maybe you couple it for, I don't know, for drafts coming later on in the year. Maybe you do. You know how the Knicks do. They know, they'll take those draft picks and turn them into a 24th or 25th or 27th, 28th pick. The Knicks will have a lower pick this year anyway, most likely, and pull somebody out. Pull somebody out of the low first round. And then have another first round pick for next year, the year after. You know how they've been doing. But the Knicks obviously have some positions on the bench, or at least one position that they're going to need filled. So maybe it's smart for the Knicks to play the waiver wire, use those draft picks in the summer. If they can't trade them for, a star type of guy, and then see what those draft picks bring you. Because you still got more first-round draft picks down the line. You got a bunch of second-round draft picks to make moves for other players. They're going to have to use those draft picks somehow, some way this year anyway. So it's not like you're saving them. Anyway, at some point, we're going to do a full-on trade deadline special. Talk about all the rumors going on in the NBA, and especially for the Knicks. It's just, for me, it's always finding the time between, basketball practice, Knicks games, so on and so forth. Tomorrow, I'm trying to get back on the front stoop. Talk about some things that's going on. So hopefully you join me. If you're not subscribed to the front stoop, make sure you go subscribe now. Just type in front stoop, the front stoop, the front stoop. I plan on going live tomorrow night. Talk about some things that's going on. I'll probably have Josh, Tony, you know what I mean? And some other people there talking about some things going on, going on in the world today. All right, so make sure you join us on the front stoop tomorrow. If you're subscribed, you'll get the notification. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head up out of here. I appreciate your time. Wanted the Knicks to get that win today, but they did not. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. I'm hoping that, obviously, Julius Randle nor Jalen Brunson got voted in as an all-star starter. Right? But you still got the coaches that are going to do their voting. So hopefully one or both of those guys get voted in. I don't see both of them, but at least one of those guys hopefully gets voted in to be an all-star. Julius Randle's come in 10th right now, ladies and gentlemen, 10th on the MVP voting list. 10th on the MVP voting list. So, that is a good sign that he might get into that all-star game, folks. Anyway, I'm going to get up out of here. I might jump on and do something short tomorrow, when I, conjure up some more thoughts about tonight. And I may even do, 5 takeaways from the last 3 games. The Knicks playing against, top teams in the Eastern Conference, 3 games against the top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference. My takeaways from that. So you may see that drop tomorrow. Then, like I said, I'll be doing a front stoop tomorrow as well. So make sure you join me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get up out of here. Appreciate your time. Ashley Inc. said, peace, Sim. Happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate it. And everybody else out there, thank you for joining me. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday. If I didn't get to, put you up on the screen or thank you, I'm thanking you right now. I appreciate it. And I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you sometime tomorrow, either on the front stoop or with my 5 takeaways from the Knicks' last 3 games. I'm out.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.